I'm just going to do a quick video, showing you how to make a post-mastectomy drain bag. So you can see it's a nice simple bag, a little square, 11 by 11 inches, sorry it's in inches, and then it has one strap going around and a simple hem. So I will include a link to this which has some small instructions. I'm going to walk you through how to make this and a strap, and hopefully you can see how easy it is to make them. You will want fabric, preferably lightweight cottons. So for example, lots of fabric here. I'm using the doggos that I just showed you, and I cut out 2 pieces. So I cut these out a little bit bigger, so 11 by 11 doesn't include your seam allowances. So about 12 by 12. So I'm then including probably a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the top. Actually, probably I might do 3/4 of a seam allowance at the top of the bag for the hem, and I'm going to do 1/4 inch, no more than 1/4 inch, it's 12. I'm going to have to do 1/2 inch on the sides, and I'll just cut them down because you want to end up with an 11 by 11 bag. So what you want to do is right sides together. So the instructions on here will tell you to do the hem first. However, I'm going to do the hem last. And I will show you why. So yeah, get your fabric together. I'd say pin them or clip them. However, all my clips are currently in use, so I'm just going to hold these together. I don't recommend that if you're not used to just feeding fabric through your machine. Also make sure you've got your fabric the right way up. And what we're going to do is figure out your seam allowance based off the pieces you've cut. Go along, leave a gap before you get to the end of what your seam allowance is. So I said it's going to be for the bottom 1/4 inch. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch down, leave 1/4, pivot on the spot, go down, pivot on the spot to 1/2 inch left, and go up. You can go all the way up to the top as well. That's absolutely fine. You can then, if you wish, reinforce your seams. You could use an overlocker to do this. You could also use an overcasting foot, which looks like this, which can allow it to wrap the stitches around the thread because it holds them on this little post in the middle. You can also do a zigzag apparently, but I've never done that as a means to reinforce something, but you can. So I'm going to clip my seams for the sides now. We pivoted at the corner so we can snip it. This can allow us to have a lovely straight corner when we're turning it out the right way. Just make sure to not snip your actual stitches, and then yeah, if you're overcasting or overlocking or reinforcing it, you can just stop when you get here. You could then redo it, start again from the other side. So I'm using as an example, whoops, so number 7 here. I prefer to use this one because it has a straight line with zigzags. Number 6 is also an overcasting edge, but yeah, I prefer 7. Another thing you can do is you can do French seams if you want to encase the seams so they're hidden, or you can leave the seams as is and press them open so then they're a little bit nicer inside. But this way it just means then the seams will look like this on the inside. If I wanted, I could press them to one side, and yeah, this at least just keeps the raw edges contained. So here is a bag. I always use a chopstick. Because they are good for poking corners. Just be careful to not poke too hard because you can get your chopstick through the stitches sometimes and make a hole in your bag, which you don't necessarily want to do. There we go, so now we've got slightly pointier corners. I mean, they could be better, however this is a fairly heavy fabric. This is a bit more like a canvas, like you would use for a tote. But there we go, so we've got a little bag. So next we're going to make straps, and I'm just going to show you quickly how to do this. So basically it's, I'm not sure, I guess it's just under 2 inches or maybe just over 2 inches. The bag straps want to be about 1 inch. So this is fabric folded in half, and then it has the ends folded in so there's no raw edges, so you can kind of see the black through this. And it's kind of then got little lips on the edge, and then you sew along the edge. I've kind of got like markers that can help me out. So firstly, what I'm going to do is fold it in half, which is of course easy no matter what. So another way of making straps is to then fold in the edges and then fold it in on itself. But you can see there it makes a lot smaller strap. However, it adds a bit more stability because then you've got these bits folded in and encased. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this lovely black line as a marker. So yeah, that's all now pressed in place. So I'm just going to sew along this line and make sure when I do that I'm catching in those two little seams. There we go. So now I have a strap. So you can see there, sometimes the back pokes through, but I don't think that's the end of the world. And yeah, that's that sorted. I didn't talk about the length because I was like, oh, I'll talk about the length. Let's look at the bag. So basically you want the bag to hang at the waist. So I've previously already measured the bag I made yesterday. As the bag doesn't necessarily have corners and it only has one strap, I'm going to do from one side to the other side, as opposed to trying to have it in the middle, because then there's a lot more bulk to have to deal with. Also make sure when you're attaching your straps that you're not crisscrossing them at all, so you won't have a twist in them. I'm going to have then the strap pointing downwards. So if you turn it up, I've got my seam allowances on opposite sides. So on this side it's that way, on this side it's that way. You want to turn it over, and then we're going to find a strap placement, and I'm just going to literally poke the strap in, and then also turn over the ends, so it will have, I don't know, I can add whatever I want really, like maybe 1/4 of an inch, just so I don't have any raw edges showing. So I'm just gonna do this, and maybe there we go. So you just double check your strap isn't twiddled at any point, and what we're going to do, so you can see I've kind of ironed the hem a little bit so it stays in place, and a little bit more. And I'm going to keep the straps down right now and sew along the bottom, ensuring that you're catching whatever your hem is there. Okay, so now you have, hopefully, a layer of stitching holding your hem in place, which will then look something like that on the outside. So I'm going to now go in and do like a little kind of cross house. So I'll go down, diagonal, down, across. So then we'll just have this top opening left. And then we will fill that in when we go along the edge. There we go. So I've done little boxes. My brain went wrong, so I haven't done them at the bottom. However, there is of course a line reinforcing the strap at the bottom underneath. So now we want to go along top. There we go. So now there's my top stitching on the top. I will leave long ends, poke them through from the right side through to the wrong side, and then tie the knots together, as opposed to have a back stitch in a top stitch, because it just doesn't look as tidy. So I'm just going to tidy this up, and then I'll show you the finished bag. And there we go. There's one little bag made in 45-ish minutes. If you do a lot of the prep beforehand, it can be a lot quicker. So for example, if you make the straps beforehand, you could like bulk make some straps, bulk cut out some fabric, and then it speeds up the process a lot as opposed to doing it all one after the other. But yeah, that's pretty cute. I could imagine someone wanting this little bag. And so yeah, the information. So this website where I found this had a link to a Welsh hospital that was asking for them. I'm going to contact my local hospital in Worthing and see if they are in need of them at all, and if not, can they put me in contact with someone who can help distribute them. And I will be spending all of either Thursday or Friday making these, and the other day we'll be making reusable sanitary pads for refugees. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Bye.